Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel, C Panda Crafts. I hope you are all doing well. Today is a very rainy Tuesday. I'm not really sure what day of the week it is, you guys. What day is it? But I was just playing with my Cricut and trying to use up some scraps from when I made t-shirts, some of my HTV or heat transfer vinyl scraps for when I made t-shirts for Disneyland back in January. And I went through my stash and found these pot holders from Dollar Tree. So this one's like an oven mitt and then just a regular pot holder. But I already did one. Sorry about that. I'm getting a phone call or a text. But I made this one. And I thought, why not film a video or a tutorial for those of you that are new to Cricut or have never tried heat transfer vinyl, or maybe you're intimidated by it, or it's really easy. So I'm going to go ahead and open up Design Space and show you how to do that, and then or how to get it prepared to cut on the mat. And so I'm going to do the whole process from putting it in Design Space, or using Design Space, putting it through the machine, weeding it, and then using an iron to go ahead and adhere it to the oven mitt. So I'm going to be working with this Dollar Tree oven pot holder mitt. Again, I already did this one, but I thought I would go ahead and show you guys how to do it. So yeah, this tutorial will be super simple and easy to follow, I hope. So let's go ahead and head over to Design Space. Okay, so I'm going to start in Design Space opening up a new project. And then once I get into the canvas, I'm going to start by clicking on templates. And I used the oven mitt template for the first one that I did. But this one is the pot mitt is like a rectangle or a square. The area that I'm going to be working in, or that I want my design, is a square, and it's about 6 by 6. So you cannot adjust your template on the mat or the Design Space. So you actually have to go to custom, and I think it was about 6 by 6. So you just adjust it up here, and your template is not going to show up, or it's not going to cut on the machine. It's just for a reference. And then I am going to go into images, and I'm going to search for bee. I'm really into the whole bee trend right now, and I'm in the process of changing out my kitchen decor with some cute bee stuff. So you can filter over here where it says Cricut Access if you're a Cricut Access member, and just have those images, but I'm just going to unclick that. Most of these, I believe, are Cricut Access designs, and basically they're all free for me to use, or I'm subscribed. So I like having Cricut Access. It's a little bit over $10 a month. I get a lot more access to a lot more designs. This video is not sponsored in any way by Cricut. I just thought I would share that information with you guys. So I'm going to scroll down and kind of look for this designs to use. This is the design that I used for the other pot holder or pot oven mitt. So I'm just going to scroll. I really like this. I'm going to select that. I think I want to use that. And I like this. And I think I want to have like another bee on there. Maybe. Or you know what? I'm just going to work with that. So I'm going to go ahead and insert images. And so these are two different images. And straight away I'm going to change the color because I'm using my scraps, my HTV scraps that I have, and they are white. So I'm going to select white and do the same thing for that one. And then I'm going to go ahead and drag this over and adjust it. And maybe I'll put the hive in there. You know what? I don't like that. It's too busy. I think I'm just going to go with this. You can add your own text, anything like that. You can create your own designs as well. I just thought I would go ahead and make this tutorial as easy as possible and use a pre-made Cricut design. All right, so that looks good. So now I'm going to go over to make it. And the most important step working with HTV, working on an iron-on project, is to mirror your image. Because it uses a carrier sheet, and you're essentially going to be placing this down and ironing it, it has to be basically flipped around. So I don't know how else to explain it, but you'll see. So I have this on the mat, and you can drag it around or do whatever, but I have it up. I'm going to leave it up here. And so the area that it's going to cut is shown here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my scrap that I have down to about 6 by 4.5. And so after I do that, I'm just going to go ahead and click continue, and it's going to connect to my machine. And over here, it's going to tell me to set the material and adjust to desired material. And I'm going to go ahead and set my machine to vinyl iron-on. And then right here it says to make sure mirror is turned on, so it gives you a reminder. And iron-on material is face shiny side down. And then it's telling me to go ahead and load it. So we're going to go over and add the vinyl to the mat and then load it to the machine. All right, so this is the scrap that I have to work with. So I'm going to cut this down to 6 by 4.5, I believe it was. That way I don't waste any vinyl. I like to use up all of it eventually. So 6 by 4.5. Yeah. So I have these pieces that I just kind of throw in my little vinyl scraps, and it's really good to get in the habit of labeling or writing on the back. Sometimes I forget to, but what kind of vinyl you're working with. Like this is just regular vinyl, so I would put like HTV on the back of that. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and load this on to, or put this shiny side down. So here's the shiny side. I'm going to put a shiny side down on my mat at about 6 and 4.5. And I'm just going to use my little Cricut tool to make sure it's all stuck down. And I really need to clean this mat. Okay, so now we're going to take it over to the machine, and then we're going to load it. And it's really important that the sides are under these little notches. That's what holds it in place and keeps it straight. My dial is set to iron-on, and I'm going to press the flashing load button. And then the go button. All right, so my Cricut is done cutting, and it's really hard to tell and see it on camera, but I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in as much as possible, and then I'm going to start weeding this out. And weeding is basically just taking the parts that you don't want. I don't know the actual definition of it, but we're basically taking off everything that we don't want to iron on. So I like to start from the corner, and it's really important that you don't pick up the carrier sheet when you're weeding, when you're starting, Here is the carrier sheet, so it's a very thin piece of plastic. And then I'm just going to start pulling at an angle, trying to be careful, especially like the little pieces like that. If that happens to where it starts pulling up, you would just take your little tool and hold it down while you pull up. But this is honestly my favorite part of using my Cricut. This is so therapeutic to me. Just watching it peel. So my arms stick into the mat. So just take it slow. If you go too fast, you might end up pulling up something that was supposed to stay down. I do that all the time. But working with HTV, it's a lot easier than working with regular vinyl. Okay, so now I have to go back and use my tool and go in between to where it didn't peel off. I'm using a piece of masking tape. This is a little trick that I learned, or a hack that I learned from the YouTube channel Maker's Gonna Learn. And I just put it around my hands, so sticky side up, and then I just go and use my little tool and pick up all of the parts and kind of stick it on there. It's a lot easier to do it that way than just taking each piece off and putting it on your desk. And it also helps if you have like little pieces that you can't get up, to kind of just lift it up that way. So I'm just gonna go ahead and weed all of these pieces out. Like these little tiny pieces where the bee is. And I can't tell you guys how much vinyl I've wasted in the past because I forgot to mirror my image. And I've gotten through weeding an entire design and then realized that I didn't mirror it. So again, just make sure you mirror your image, and then I'm just going to peel it back. And then here I have my design that I'm going to iron on. So let's go ahead and go over to the ironing board. All right, so now I'm over at my ironing board. I have my little mitt down, and I'm gonna just place my design where I want it, and you can readjust it. So that looks good right there. And I have my iron set to the polyester setting. I also use cotton. It just depends on the material. It honestly doesn't really matter. I do the same process when I make my t-shirts. I do it exactly the same way. I don't have a fancy like Cricut heat press, so I just use my iron. But again, when I make t-shirts, I do it exactly the same way. I just went ahead and set it to polyester because this is polyester, but I also use the cotton setting and it works just fine. So I'm just going to take a towel. Once I get it placed down to where I want it, I'm just taking like a dish towel and I'm going to set it on top. And then I'm going to place my hot iron directly on top of that and press down for about 30 seconds. Okay, so now I'm going to take my iron off, and you can kind of tell if you peel it back a little bit that it didn't get the sides, and that's fine. We're not done. So I'm going to take this, put it back over because the iron doesn't cover the entire space, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go over to the side and press this down for about 30 seconds. And then I'm going to do the same to the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to take this off And I'm going to go back and I'm going to go directly on top, but I'm not going to press down. I'm just going to go back and forth right over that plastic. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, why are you doing that? You're going to ruin it. I've been doing it this way and it works just fine. I haven't burnt anything yet. And the plastic, the carrier sheet, has not melted. So I just kind of move it back and forth. Now I'm going to wait for it to kind of cool off. You don't want to peel it off too fast when it's still hot. You want to wait for it to cool down. So I'm going to wait about a minute before I peel it back. All right, so it's been about a minute and I'm going to do the same thing, how I weeded, and I'm just going to pull from the corner all the way to corner. And that's it. It's super easy to make, you guys. Super simple process to use heat transfer vinyl. And so now I have this cool, cute pot holder to put with my other one. Alright guys, well that completes this video. I hope this tutorial was helpful for you if this is your first time learning about how to do a iron-on project and using HTV. I hope it was helpful for you. Go ahead and leave me a comment down below if you have any questions. And I plan on doing some more Cricut projects and tutorials in the future. So definitely click that subscribe button if you haven't. And if you are a returning subscriber, go ahead and click that bell so you can be notified of every time I upload a new video. I know with everything that's going on, my uploading is kind of all over the place, but go ahead and click that bell and you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all are staying healthy and safe. And until my next video, I hope you guys all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time.